Everyone, welcome to another Visual Studio Code tutorial video. We're going to actually take a look at another extension today, and this extension is one that I really like because it deals with bots. I'm a big chat bot guy. If you've looked at any of my other tutorial videos, you know that. And recently with the bot framework SDK version 4, they came out with a language, or at least a markup style language called Chatdown, which allows you to prototype out your chatbots. And in doing a lot of that, so if we take a look at some of these cards, because they're called rich cards, you can see it's all JSON, right? So all of these items are JSON items, and in fact, this particular assessment.json item that I pulled up, this is what's called an adaptive card. So if we take a look at this EPA.chat one, you'll see that they have an attachment pointing directly to that to EPA-assessors.json. Here's thumbnail.jane. Here's a bunch of different JSON files, and here's the assessment.json one that we were just looking at, right? So all of these are JSON structures, and you can see that the smaller ones, the ones that are just regular rich cards, are pretty simple. But if we look at this assessment.json one, you can see this is quite complex. And adaptive cards is a unique way of describing a component without necessarily explicitly designing it. And Microsoft's been pushing this as a kind of a universal language to describe kind of these rich interactions and these rich cards in this rich format. And it's starting to catch on. I know there's some support in non-Microsoft products, but obviously Microsoft products have the best support. But as you can see right here, I mean, this requires you to either have a lot memorized, which none of us will, or to research some documentation and try to figure out where these kind of components need to fit in. But a great thing is that if we come over here and we take a look at extensions, and I already have this installed, but if we take a look at adaptive cards, you can see that there's an adaptive cards viewer. So if we pull this up, you can see it was built by Tom Laird McConnell. He actually works at Microsoft. He works on a lot of the bot framework tooling, and you can see it gives you a preview of kind of what this should look like, and it tells you the usage, and it gives you some of the options. So it's a really good extension. You see that obviously people like it, and so if we were to have this file open, and we do a Control-Shift-P, and then we start to type adaptive, you can see the adaptive card viewer. So if we click on that, this will pop it up to the right, and you can see that this actually renders the adaptive card, and it has, you know, all of the information. And this particular adaptive card is a choice set, has several choice sets in it actually, where you can actually choose from drop-down lists, and then it of course has the submit button and a cancel button. So you can see that it renders it basically as it would look in HTML, but it gives you a real-time renderer. So if we came in here and we just say deleted that text, you can see that it updated automatically. And then if we messed something up by eliminating a comma, you can see that it does break that. If we messed a comma there, that also breaks it. So if we changed this to something else, I'm going to say regular. I don't think that's the weight though. You can see that yeah, so it actually highlights it. So let's see, values not accepted, valid values, lighter, default, and bold. So there you go. So that works out. It's now lighter. We'll switch that back to bolder, I should say, and you can see that it bolds that information. So when it knows that it's an adaptive card, Visual Studio Code also obviously has a language service built in so that it can tell you if you've made any mistakes with some of the options that are there. So between that and this adaptive card previewer, you have a nice little mini development environment to build out these JSON structures, to build out these adaptive cards in order to see what they would look like and use them in your applications.